Every magician knows that when performing folded card to impossible location, it's the shuttle pass dumping of the card from its container that absolutely has to look real. Michael Bowden's Rebound to Tin or Jar approaches this dilemma with deceptive alternative approach that you will love. Let's take a look.
This is a different approach taken to the signed card to impossible location. In this case, inside this tin can. They hear that something's inside there. In just a moment, they're going to see what could possibly be inside the can. As usual, the playing card is selected and signed. I've already done that. The 5 of diamonds will be the selection. The card then gets lost back into the pack, roughly about halfway down as I cut the cards. Next, the can is jiggled one more time. There is something inside there. Now, to find your card would be easy if I looked through the faces of the cards, but I don't have to, because inside the can, well, the surprise inside the can is a playing card folded up into quarters. Not just any card, because this particular card happens to be yours with your signature, just like magic. Okay, here's a quick explanation. You're going to need a can that a folded card into quarters will fit into. Inside this folded card is a small magnet so that if the card is attached to the can because of the magnetic ability on one side, but on the other side it freely jiggles back and forth. So the magnet is only strong when it's in the can in a certain position. So you put it inside the can so it will jiggle around. And obviously when you flip it over, now the magnet's going to be into play and can be stuck to the lid. And by the hands going forward and backward, it'll give the appearance that the folded card in your hand, in your finger palm, is dumped onto the table. Kind of a bank shot from the can to the lid to the table. This is how I do the Mercury card fold right now. Turning the deck over, I fold the card in half for the first fold. Then I swing cut the deck, keeping the card on the bottom, which is still folded in half. By the way, that card was pre-scored before the effect. I fan the cards, I close the fan, and this is where I fold it into quarters by pulling backwards, as you see there. You then jiggle the can. They hear something inside. I usually turn the deck face up and say, you know, I could find your card if I look through them face up, but that wouldn't be too fair. I'm going to use a little bit of magic. Now remember, that card is still finger palmed. Ribbon spread the cards, keeping the card finger palmed, jiggle the can. Now you place the can into your left hand so that the finger palm card is not flashed to anyone. You take off the lid. Take off the lid. They can see the inside of the lid. They see the card jiggle back and forth very freely. Now when you go to dump it, it's going to be magnetically attached to that lid, and as your hands come back towards your body, you dump the card from the finger palm onto the table. And it really does give a good illusion, a really perfect illusion, I would say, of that card being dumped from the can onto the lid and then onto the table. So it's kind of a ricochet shot. Card is finger palm, cards are ribbon spread, lid is taken off, jiggle the card around, dump it onto the lid, back onto the table. Now they can see that the can is empty as you go to put the lid back on. Let's take one more look at it. The card is finger palmed. When you get it into that position, the can is placed into position. Take the lid off, they can see the inside of the lid, jiggle the card around, dump it onto the lid, and perform the dump move. Yeah, but now they see the can is actually empty when you go to put it away. And their card was inside the can, just like magic. Here is Rebound with a glass jar instead of a metal can. Inside the jar is a folded up playing card into quarters that will remain in full view the entire time. Spectators selects a card. In this case, we've already pre-selected one for them and have their signature written upon it just for this demonstration. Their card would be the 4 of spades. Their assigned card gets lost back into the pack, roughly about the center of the deck, losing it somewhere in there. Next, the cards get shuffled. Yeah, we'll mix them up a little bit. After the shuffling, I can show you one more time that your card is in there somewhere. Exactly where, who knows. Keep your eye upon that jar though, if you would. As I perhaps look for your card, I have no luck whatsoever, but remember the jar? That's right, inside the jar, that folded up playing card is not any card, it just happens to be your card with your signature on it. Just like magic. Now let's take a look at how I put the jar together. Basically, it started off as a candle, which I dug the wax out of. Notice the inside of the lid had a rubber seal, which I also had to take out, so that was removed also. I then took a Dremel tool, and with a diamond tip on it, I scratched the bottom of that glass jar so it would be like a frosted look to it, so you can't see through it. Then I took a can of white spray paint and spray painted the bottom a little bit to make it totally opaque.